Welcome friends in this video, Xcn coin break trend. Ready to fly? We will analyze it. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and please watch to the end to understand. In the previous video, we highlighted the descending trend, which has now been broken. This breakout marked an important turning point in the market, and prices are now beginning to determine a new direction after this breakout. However, not every breakout immediately results in a significant rise. Right now, the price is going through a critical phase right after the breakout, the retest process. So, what is a retest and why is it so important? A retest is when prices return to the previously broken level and test that level again. This essentially means that prices come back to broken resistance or support levels and validate them. In other words, as prices move back toward this level, they check whether it has become a new support. If buyers dominate at this level and prices hold here, it generally indicates that the upward trend will continue. Therefore, the retest can be a valuable opportunity for investors because it provides the right timing for prices to gain new momentum. What we are seeing right now is exactly this. The price is returning to the level where the descending trend was broken and testing this region. However, this is not just a short-term pause. It could actually be the beginning of a larger movement. If the price successfully completes this retest and starts moving upward strongly from here, it suggests that the price will climb further and could potentially signal the start of a major rally. Another important point to pay attention to is how this retest is happening and how long the price stays at this level. If the price tests this area several times and then breaks upward strongly, it usually indicates that buyers are strong and the potential for further price movement is high. On the other hand, if the price stays here, waiting for buyers to strengthen, it could consolidate for a while. However, in general, rallies after retests tend to be more solid and sustainable. Additionally, this retest process offers a significant opportunity for investors. The price holding here and making a proper breakout creates a favorable environment for investors looking for buying opportunities. If the price successfully breaks through this level and starts rising, it could indicate that a major move has begun in the market. Investors should carefully watch this type of scenario and make sure to time their moves correctly. In conclusion, the price is currently retesting the level where the descending trend was broken, and once this process is completed, a rapid rise may be expected. After the retest is finished, if buyers gain control and the price holds firmly, new highs and a major upward move may be seen. This situation presents an opportunity that should be closely monitored by investors, as it has the potential to yield significant gains. These types of technical levels and price movements are often considered a starting signal in the investment world. If this process progresses successfully, a wider range for the price to rise even further may form in the coming days. But we must not only look at the trends, we must also consider other metrics. Keep watching. If we take a deeper look into the fundamentals of the Elliott wave theory, we can see that price movements follow a specific structure and pattern. This theory suggests that financial markets are composed of orderly cycles, influenced by the collective psychology of humans. And these cycles repeat in a certain sequence. Each wave completes the previous one and sets the foundation for the next, occurring naturally within the market's rhythm. Specifically, the Elliott wave structure we are currently focusing on seems to have started the third wave after the completion of the second wave. The end of the second wave typically signals the end of a correction phase in the market. This correction occurs as investors take profits after the first wave's upward move, causing the market to calm down a bit. After the completion of the second wave, the market regains momentum, marking the beginning of the third wave. This transition is crucial in the Elliott wave theory because the third wave is generally the strongest and longest of all the waves. When the third wave begins, it is expected that the price will reach at least the 1,618 and 2,272 levels. These levels are prominent target areas in Fibonacci extension levels and are primary target ranges for the Elliott wave. Fibonacci levels are considered by investors and technical analysts as natural price targets for a price movement. The 1,618 level in particular is one of the most commonly observed and strongest levels within the Fibonacci ratio. This is a point where markets typically expect to reach after an upward movement. The 272 level is considered a more advanced target and is usually seen during periods of rapid price increases and rising momentum. The Elliott wave theory helps us understand not only price movements, but also market psychology. When the third wave begins, it indicates that the price is gaining strong momentum, and investors' interest in the market is growing. At this stage, the desire of investors to take a larger position in the market can drive prices to move rapidly upward. This is especially seen in bull markets. The third wave typically marks a period when prices begin to rise very quickly, laying the foundation for a much larger upward move. Therefore, when we see that the third wave has started strongly, large opportunities can arise in the market. Another important aspect of this process is the potential for the third wave to create powerful price movements. Investors typically watch the start of the third wave closely to see how high the price could rise in the long term. At this stage, especially Fibonacci levels and Elliott wave targets provide important clues for investors regarding the price direction. If the price reaches these levels, it indicates that market psychology has reached its peak and that investors are starting to make significant profits. However, another point to consider during the continuation of the third wave is that the price may make short-term corrections at certain intervals. These corrections are important for sustaining healthy price movement in the market. According to the Elliott wave theory, corrections are often seen as signs of an even stronger rise. Therefore, investors can view these corrections as opportunities and may prefer to buy when the price starts moving upward again toward the third wave. In conclusion, the third wave phase in the Elliott wave theory can offer significant opportunities for investors. If the price indeed moves toward the 1,618 and 2,272 levels, reaching these levels will have a major impact on the market. Investors can carefully monitor the start of this wave, accurately analyze price movements, and catch suitable entry points. Additionally, to understand future price movements after this wave, it would be beneficial to consider the other waves in the Elliott wave theory and Fibonacci levels. When we take a detailed look at the chart, we can clearly see that the price has managed to break above the 200 EMA. The 200-day exponential moving average, EMA, is considered a very important indicator in technical analysis. This level is one of the key lines that long-term investors and large institutions use to evaluate the price. When the price starts to stay above the 200 EMA in an asset, it is usually a strong signal that the market is changing direction and that buyers have begun to take control. In the current situation, the price breaking upwards above this significant level, the 200 EMA, could be signaling a potential trend change. Furthermore, if this breakout is not just a short-term move but proves to be sustainable across larger timeframes, it would provide a solid foundation for the continuation of the upward trend. Staying above the 200 EMA indicates that the market's investor psychology is starting to shift positively. This can encourage more investors to buy with confidence, making the upward moves even stronger. With the price rising above this level, different support and resistance zones will also begin to form. If the 200 EMA previously acted as a resistance, it may now turn into a support level. This means that, in the event of a pullback, if the price moves back toward the 200 EMA, it could act as a strong support point and provide a foundation for the price to bounce back and make new upward moves. Another important effect of the price moving above the 200 EMA is that it may draw the attention of larger investors to this asset again. Many professional investors and algorithmic systems base their decisions on major technical indicators like the 200 EMA. Therefore, if the price manages to maintain this level, larger capital entering the market could lead to upward moves that are more substantial and stronger. At this point, the key aspect to monitor is whether the price can hold above the 200 EMA. If the price consolidates at this level and builds a solid base, much higher levels could be targeted in the future. On the other hand, if the price falls back below the 200 EMA, this move could be considered a fake breakout, and the downward pressure may increase once again. However, the current technical structure and price behavior seem to support upward expectations for now. In summary, the price breaking above the 200 EMA is a very positive development. As long as the price remains above this level, the continuation of upward movements targeting new higher peaks, and the overall market adopting a more positive sentiment seems likely. In other words, the price may have just taken its first step into a new upward journey. Patience is required. Yes, friends, I hope you liked the video. If you subscribe to my channel and like the video, more videos will be coming. Be careful in your investments, analyze the risks correctly, and always take strategic steps. I will be with you with different analyses, investment opportunities, and technical information in my videos. I wish you all a lot of profit. See you soon.